Hello Mon Petite and welcome back to my channel. Do I have an exciting video for you today? I feel like this has become a bit of an annual tradition, a bit of an annual video, and I think this may be the earliest that I'm ever doing this video. But the winds are in the east, mist is coming in, like something is brewing, about to begin. Have you seen those TikToks? Honestly, I feel like that's all that's popping up on my feed at the moment. It's a little bit of a cloudy day, there's a little bit of a chill in the air, and I am ready to start getting excited for autumn. I have to say, when it comes to fashion seasons, autumn is probably one of the best seasons to really have fun with your wardrobe, have a little bit of a play about and think about upcoming trends. Now, I am definitely not trend led in my wardrobe. I feel like I've really switched up my style recently and changed the way that I view my entire closet, my entire wardrobe, and the way that I style up outfits. I definitely prefer to stick to much more classic styles, classic silhouettes, but I do love just implementing a little bit of a trend into my outfit. I love knowing what's trending, I love knowing what's going to be big, and then thinking about ways that I can bring that into my wardrobe in the most me way possible. Whenever I am following trends, whenever I'm thinking about adding trends into my wardrobe, I always ask myself, is this me? So we have 10 trends to chat through today, and I'm going to be honest with you, not all of them are the most me trends, but they're trends that I think you guys might enjoy jumping on the bandwagon of. You might enjoy styling up for your own autumn winter wardrobe, even if it's something that I don't necessarily think works with my style or works in my wardrobe. But we have got 10 autumn trends to chat about that are going to be huge for 2025. So grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, and let's jump straight into it. So trend number one is a trend that I know so many of you guys are going to be just as happy as I am that this is still trending for 2025, because it's a bit of a continuation of a trend that erupted in autumn 24, and that is suede. Suede is going to be huge again, autumn 2025, and I for one am so happy about that, because last year I did take the plunge and start to add suede into my wardrobe and see how I can adopt it into my own fashion, into my own style. But everything that I bought, I wanted to make sure that I was adding it into my wardrobe in a very timeless and classic way, so that even if suede isn't necessarily a trending piece, I can still wear and love the pieces. And if you keep up to date with the vlogs, you would have seen this gorgeous new addition that I have added into my wardrobe ahead of autumn, getting ahead of the curve a little bit before the trend really erupts for the new season. My gorgeous new camel suede handbag. I've been wanting to add a handbag in this particular color suede into my wardrobe for the longest time, and I would say if you are looking into the suede trend, these kind of more timeless suede colors are definitely going to be what is going to last in your wardrobe. If you're not necessarily worried about it being a trend piece, if you want it to be something that you can wear every single autumn, this I feel like is a color that is just going to come into its own every autumn, every fall. It is just so timeless, it is so classic, but obviously with that little kind of trend-led design to it, which I absolutely adore. This is from Fabrique, and I do believe my discount still works on it, so I will leave it linked down below. So if you're thinking about different ways that you can add suede into your autumn winter wardrobe, I would definitely start with those accessories. I feel like handbags and shoes are a great way of adding it into your wardrobe, because again, they're not necessarily trend-led items, they're really classic and timeless items with a little trend twist to them. I for one had a gorgeous pair of suede ballet flats on my wish list for a little while. I absolutely adore having suede boots, whether that's ankle boots or knee-high boots in my wardrobe, and I also think suede jackets are a great way of adding the trend into your wardrobe. You can just chuck it over the top of your outfit. Honestly, it's so weird already thinking about wearing layers, wearing outerwear, wearing jackets, still being in pretty much the height of summer, but I am getting very excited for cozy season. So if you invested in any suede pieces from last year, definitely look at bringing them out of your wardrobe and seeing how you can style them up for autumn 2025, or maybe start creating a little bit of a wish list. Now is the perfect time to start shopping those autumn winter pieces and seeing what you want to add into your wardrobe this year. Trend number two is another trend that I am so excited about out, and this is what I love about doing these videos, is that I get to geek out a little bit. I get to see the evolution of the trends, how they evolve over time, and I find it so interesting seeing how the different elements and aspects make a particular trending piece each particular trending year. And I'm very happy to say that faux fur is going to be trending again in autumn, winter, but faux fur like we've never seen it before. Now, if you do want to add faux fur into your wardrobe in a bit more of a timeless and classic way, you're not necessarily worried about it being more of a trending piece, then I would definitely recommend adding a faux fur coat into your wardrobe. I feel like you cannot go wrong with a faux fur coat in autumn, winter, and particularly, and I cannot believe I'm about to say the C word, at Christmas time. But there is nothing I love more than a beautiful, elevated, festive outfit, where instead of ruining it and covering it up with a random coat, a random piece of outerwear, you are literally adding to that elevation with a gorgeous faux fur coat. I have a couple in my wardrobe and I'm very excited to bring them back out for autumn winter 2025. But this year it's interesting to see how faux fur is being done, because I'm seeing it being incorporated in ways we've never seen that before. I'm talking hems of skirts, I'm talking within denim pieces, within accessories. I feel like is the main way that we're seeing faux fur this year, on kind of like the cuffs and on your collars, and I am loving that, because I feel like it's a little bit less daunting if you're someone who's maybe never added faux fur into your wardrobe before. You maybe find it a little bit overwhelming, it's something that's a little bit past your comfort zone. This is a very accessible way to bring it into your personal style. For me personally, I would love to add a beautiful faux fur scarf into my collection, because I feel like it adds it into that way that I can wear so many at different times. I can wear it with more elevated outfits and I can wear it with more casual outfits. I also love having faux fur just around the collar. I think it keeps you really nice and snugly warm, adds that cozy aspect into my wardrobe. I'm interested to see how many other ways I will be adding it into my wardrobe over the course of autumn winter 25, whether it's going to be in handbags, whether it's going to be in collars or in cuffs. It's a fun one that I'm really excited about having a little bit of a play about with in autumn winter 25. So faux fur, one to seriously keep an eye out on this year. Now, as I said at the start of this video, not every single one of these trends are trends that I'm particularly going to be adding into my wardrobe that I personally enjoy. But trend number 3 is one that I feel like I can't ignore for 2025, because it is huge, and it is the resurgence of Capri Pants. And this to me feels so nostalgic, because in the kind of early noughties when I was growing up, they were everywhere. It was very Paris Hilton vibes, and it's quite nice seeing this like full circle moment and then coming back into fashion. Now, the reason why for me particularly I don't think I'm going to be wearing them or styling them is just because they don't suit my body shape. Being a petite, curvy girl, they're just not really designed for girls like me. I feel like no matter how many times I try to shop Capri Pants, they'll probably always end up being almost full length on me, which is definitely not the vibe that we want to go for with this trend. And I just don't like that shape on me personally. Being a curvy girl, I feel like it just accentuates the curves that I don't want to accentuate and just doesn't really flatter my particular body shape. So that is also something to consider whenever it comes to these kinds of trends, and not just following them blindly. Is, does it suit you as a person? Does it suit your body shape? Does it really fit with your personal style? But I have seen so many girls wearing and rocking Capri Pants. Start up particularly with ballet flats or little kind of like 90s tennis trainers and a cute little knit thrown over the top. I'm interested to see how long this trend is going to last, if it's just going to be a real passing phase, or is it going to be something that really embeds itself into autumn winter fashion that we see resurfacing year on year. What are your predictions? Comment down below. I would love to know your thoughts on Capri Pants. My goodness me, we have got some noisy seagulls outside my house today. I am so sorry if you can hear them squawking away, but this is what happens when you live in the New Forest, when you live on the coast. But trend number 4, let's carry on and hope that they settle down eventually. Trend number 4 is one that, again, I'm very excited about, because it's a trend that I feel like, again, is a bit of a continuation from last year. We saw it creeping into high street fashion, creeping into our wardrobes, but this year it is really having a boom, and that is braiding. And braiding within that particular kind of woven fabric. I've got an example here, a gorgeous little handbag that I actually got for Christmas last year. It's very Bottega Veneta inspired, and I feel like a lot of people are going to be taking this trend quite literally and saying that Bottega Veneta is going to be a trending brand. But I never want to shout one particular brand because I feel like so many other brands do it just as beautifully, just as well, and often for a fraction of the price. This was actually from Anthropologie. If they still do it, I will leave it linked down below for you guys. They do it in a lot of different colors and I absolutely adore it. And I feel like there's so many different bags and so many different styles that I've seen in this kind of like braided fabric, this like braided design, which I absolutely adore, whether that's big tote bags that you can take into work with you or cute little evening handbags. I've also seen some shoes that have started incorporating this braided trend. If you watched my little come shop with me that I did at John Lewis over on Instagram recently, there was a beautiful pair of braided leather loafers from Dune. And honestly, it's such an interesting way that Dune have added the trend into a shoe. I absolutely adore them. I think they are going to be huge, real trending shoes this year. So whether it's loafers, whether it's ballet flats, whether it's boots or bags, I feel like this braided trend is going to be massive for 2025, and one that I definitely feel like you can have a lot of fun with. I have to say, accessory trends are always some of my favorites because I just think they're the easiest ones to add into your wardrobe, the easiest ones to play about with, and really feel like you're following a trend without sacrificing timelessness, classic outfits, or sacrificing your own personal style. So I'm really excited about the braided trend for autumn winter 2025. Goodness me, we're already on trend number 5, halfway through, and a trend that I am really interested to see how it evolves over the course of autumn winter 2025. I've really seen it as a more transitional trend that's already been coming up throughout summer, and I definitely think it's going to boom throughout the coming season, and that is the poncho trend. Ponchos, capes, whatever you want to kind of call them, I am loving them at the moment. I've seen so many girls wearing them in a really cool and trendy way for kind of summer to autumn 2025, but I definitely think going into the colder months, the colder seasons, it's going to be a little bit more about that kind of layering, about that extra fabric. That's just what I adore about autumn styling, is that you can have so much more fun with your outfit because there's just so many more elements to it. I mean, in summer, you've got a beautiful dress, you've got a cute little outfit, and in autumn, you've got your outfit, then you've got your layered pieces, then you've got your accessories, then you think about your shoes, and I feel like ponchos are just really going to add to it. So whether you go for something that's really trend-led with some fringing to it, that's got some real design details, or something a little bit more timeless and classic, I actually have a couple of capes in my wardrobe that are quite a few years old that I picked up quite a while ago. I'm really excited to bring them back out this season and style them up. Again, this is what I love about doing these videos, is being able to show that not all of these pieces are necessarily trend items that you need to run out and buy. A lot of them are pieces that you might think, you know what, I've actually got something really similar in my wardrobe. I've got something that basically matches that description that I bought 4, 5, 6 years ago. Look at me being so ahead of the curve. Let's bring that out of my wardrobe and style it up in a really trend-led way for this current season. So I definitely think that ponchos and capes are going to be a really interesting one. Not only are they so practical and so classic, being able to just chuck an extra layer over the top of your outfit and keep you really nice and snugly warm, going to be really on trend for 2025, so definitely one to keep your eye out on. Now, I can't believe that we've got this far in the video and we haven't actually talked about colours yet, because I feel like every single autumn winter there's usually a really big trending colour that we're seeing everywhere, that everyone is talking about. And this feels a little bit different. I always like to do a little bit of research before these videos, look into what is going to be coming up, what's been on the high street, what's been on the runways, in magazines. And this year, I feel like we are quite void of particular colours. I feel like this year there's not one colour that is standing out to me as the colour of the season, bar a colour that I think a lot of people can probably argue is not necessarily a 2025 trending colour, but more just a trending colour every single autumn. A colour I absolutely adore styling up, and that is brown. Brown is what I am seeing is going to be the biggest color trend of 2025. And I feel like last year we had a lot more colorful colors. We had some greens, I think we had reds and burgundies. This year, I feel like it's a little bit toned back. It's a little bit more neutral, which I, for one, am not complaining about, because you know me, you know I love a monochromatic, very neutral outfit. And brown is a color that I feel like suits so many skin tones. I honestly have never met a girl that doesn't look amazing in brown, especially if you're someone who maybe struggles with black. You sometimes feel a little bit washed out. It's maybe a little bit too harsh, a bit too contrasted on your skin. Brown is an amazing color to add into your wardrobe because it's just that little bit softer, that little bit more flattering, but still just as elevated, just as beautiful. I, for one, love styling up all brown outfits in autumn, winter. I just think it's so seasonal, yet still timeless, still classic, and so elevated. So brown cardigans, brown outerwear, brown handbags, brown shoes, brown jeans, brown skirts, honestly anything brown that you can add into your wardrobe is going to be huge. It's going to be such a big trend for 2025. Now, as well as having a bit of a colour of the season in these trend videos, we often have an aesthetic of this season that I feel like comes out of the woodwork, that a lot of us love to adopt and enjoy. In the past, we've had the Nancy Myers aesthetic, which personally I don't think is going anywhere. We've had the fisherman aesthetic, which was quite a fun one, the coastal grandmother aesthetic, which I absolutely adore. And this year, it's a very interesting aesthetic that I feel like has come out of the woodwork that I actually can really get on board with, and that is the frazzled Englishwoman aesthetic. And I know what you're thinking, what the hell does that mean, Ellie? That doesn't even make sense. It's like a style or anything that I can necessarily buy or adopt into my wardrobe. And I would say whenever it comes to these more aesthetic trends, it's more how you carry yourself, how you style yourself. A lot of people say you can't buy an aesthetic. It's more about how you present yourself within your styling that adopts that aesthetic. Now, to me, the frazzled Englishwoman often reminds me of Bridget Jones, whether that is the modern Bridget Jones or whether that is the classic Bridget Jones. It's that lovable, clumsy, frazzled woman who maybe doesn't quite know exactly where she's going with life, is maybe making a few mistakes on the way, and is chucking on an outfit that actually looks amazing. I'm thinking big, cozy scarves are going to be huge this year. Hair that's maybe a little bit more unkept, that you don't quite put as much effort into, minimal jewellery, minimal, maybe a little bit messy makeup, big, long overcoats that you can wrap yourself up in it throughout autumn, winter. It is a trend that I am very excited to see. I think it's going to be such a fun one to adopt into my own personal wardrobe, because being an Englishwoman myself, living in the countryside, I feel like it's a trend that really does lend itself very easily into my wardrobe, and it's great thinking about not having to buy anything and just how I can style the pieces that I already have, more leaning towards the frazzled Englishwoman aesthetic. It's one that I think is going to be really fun for 2025, but I think it might be a bit of a Marmite trend. I think you're either going to love it or you hate it. So which do you? Do you love or do you hate? I think I kind of love. What number are we on now? Trend number 8. How have we got this far already in the video? Is a trend that, again, I think is going to be continued from last year. And what I quite like about this trend is I don't think it's necessarily just for autumn. It's more of a trans-seasonal trend. So autumn and spring, and that is the cropped trench coat. Now, again, as I've said, not every single one of these trends are going to be something that I personally love and I personally adopt. And much like the Capri Pant trend, I personally just don't think the cropped trench trend is one for me. That is a tongue twister and a half. Try and say that 5 times quickly. The cropped trench trend, cropped trench trend. But again, being a shorter girl, I often do think about the length of pieces in my wardrobe, and whenever I'm styling outfits, I'm always doing it with the purpose of elongation, elevation, making me look taller than I am, or at least not making me look as short as I am. And I think it's working, because on TikTok, whenever I post videos about being petite, I get 1,000 questions asking how do I refine myself as petite, because I don't look short. And that to me is the biggest compliment in the world. And being a shorter girl, I think when it comes to coats and outerwear, longer pieces are just so much more flattering on me. A crop trench is a bit more mid-length. It kind of cuts you off just at the hips. And maybe this is a short girl thing, maybe this is a curvy girl thing, maybe it's a little bit of a mix of both, but having a coat stop at like the widest part of my body, I have very wide hips, especially in comparison to my waist. I just don't think that's going to be flattering. I think it's going to look a little bit boxy. It's going to break me in half a little bit, and it's just not going to be a trend for me personally. However, that being said, so many girls are rocking the cropped trench trend, and I am loving the way that they're styling it. I feel like it's one of those outerwear pieces that can be styled up so versatilely. You can wear it over the top of your office outfit. You can wear it with something a little bit smarter when you're running to and from the office, because let's be honest, in autumn winter, we're probably going to need something showerproof here in the UK. You can wear it at the weekend over the top of jeans or cute little skirts or even dresses. I've seen so many girls for more of a late summer transitional way of styling it, wear it over the top of cute white cotton dresses, and I honestly love the way that they have been wearing it. I feel like it is a trend that isn't going to go anywhere over the next few years. I don't think it's one of those pieces that you'll add into your wardrobe and by next year be completely bored with it. I think it is quite a timeless piece, and even if it's not necessarily trending, a great outerwear layer just to have in your collection. So a cropped trench is definitely one to keep your eye out on this year. The penultimate trend is one that, again, I'm so excited to see how it's going to develop, how it's going to evolve throughout autumn, winter, particularly how it's going to evolve through the temperatures, from obviously a little bit warmer in August, starting to get a little bit of a chill in that transitional kind of season, all throughout autumn, winter, when it gets very chilly, very cold here in the UK. And that trend is unexpected layers. It's something that I feel like has been a really fun one to jump on board, and one that has definitely developed throughout summer. That's why I say that these trends evolve. It's so interesting to see how they change, how they kind of like develop and mold. And unexpected layers, I think, are one that a lot of girls have been having a lot of fun with. I'm talking lace layered underneath thick knitwear. I'm talking textures that you wouldn't necessarily think to put together, layering them up to create a really eclectic, really interesting outfit that screams, I know my personal style. And that, I just think, is something that you cannot necessarily replicate when someone knows and is so confident within their personal style that they can take a trend like this and just make it so their own. I'm honestly in awe of women that can do that. I personally think I'm going to have a lot more fun with this trend with different kinds of materials. I love layering up silks with cottons and wools and knits. I think it's one that I can definitely really take and make my own this autumn winter, that again, I don't necessarily have to buy anything new for. I don't have to go up and shop for. I can just see what I've got in my wardrobe already that I can bring together to really pull this trend into my own collection, my own styling for 2025. And we have made it to the end. Trend number 10 is a trend that I think is going to really find its way into so many different aspects of your life. This isn't necessarily just a fashion trend, but I feel like it's also an interiors trend, a lifestyle trend, an aesthetic trend, and that is eclectic elegance. I, for one, am always looking at ways I can make sure that my outfits are elegant, feminine. It's just my personal style, and it's so interesting to see how this trend has really evolved and developed, and again, how so many girls are really adopting it within their own personal style. Eclectic elegance can mean anything from having a home that is just designed so you, whether you're someone who lives on the coast and you love bringing in those coastal elements into your home, whether you're someone that loves the Nancy Myers aesthetics, you add lots of fabrics, lots of coziness into your home. If you love antiques and you fill your home with antique frames and cushions and linens. But with regards to your outfits, I think it's just going to be so about adding layers, adding details, jewelry, accessories that feels so you and is designed towards elevating an elegant outfit. I, for one, love jewelry as a way of doing that, whether that's just adding a string of pearls to a plain tee, whether that's adding a really fun pair of earrings to an outfit that's maybe a little bit more boring, or adding a gorgeous handbag into the mix. Eclectic elegance is a trend that, again, I feel like you can just take and run with and make it so your own. It's one, again, I'm so interested to see how it's going to develop throughout the months into the colder seasons. I think we're going to see a lot more layering, a lot more knitwear adding into this trend, and I think it's one that you can really have a lot of fun with. So eclectic elegance, it's one that I think you can almost take and make your own. You can take from it what you want, which is what I really like about doing these trend videos, is making sure that every single person is going to take what they want from the trend and just have so much fun with it. Fashion is meant to be fun, and I always have so much fun doing these videos. So those are my top 10 trend predictions for autumn winter 2025. I feel like it's going to be a really fun year for fashion. I honestly am getting so excited for that pre-seasonal styling, and I know this is the earliest that I've ever done this video, but the weather today, the grey skies, it's just getting me so excited for cozy season. So I hope you guys are excited as I am. And if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, I would love it if you hit it now. You can come and join me for videos every Monday and Thursday. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It's given you some real insight as to what to get excited about, what's going to be coming this next season, what you can maybe add into your wardrobe, but also style up with pieces that you already have in your collection. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.